Okay, so let's talk about sexuality in adolescence. Sexual activity is common in the late teenage years. A lot of talk and curiosity is common in the early teenage years. The average age of sexual initiation is 17. So the average age that kids first have sex is around 17. But that process begins much earlier with the development of um, physical and emotional and mental changes. So developing physical sexual characteristics, sexual urges, and romantic feelings all happens in those early adolescent years, and that causes a lot of anxiety. Kids may begin to wonder, am I normal? Is it normal to have these thoughts and feelings? Or am I desirable? Do other people find me attractive? Most kids are not having sex in middle school. And if they are, there's usually something else going on. Okay. There are a lot of kids who are sexually abused, however, and that can lead to earlier sexual activity. Gender and sexual identity are part of that development that occurs in adolescence. Most kids identify as a gender by the preschool years, and that may or may not match their physical sex characteristics, but most kids identify as a gender by the preschool years. Same-sex experimentation can occur sometimes in heterosexual children in early adolescence. There is some question now about whether sexual preference is binary or whether gender is binary, and that's beyond the scope of this class. As a nurse, your role is to accept people as they value and present themselves. Gay adolescents often identify during adolescence, even though they may have been aware that they were attracted to people of the same gender when they were younger. They may not identify that until they're older. Children who don't fit heterosexual cisgender norms for whatever reason, either because they are gay, or trans, bisexual, or because they're perceived as not fitting into a stereotypical gender identity, they're at risk for bullying, violence, parental abandonment. People kick their children out of their homes, homelessness, human trafficking, depression, and suicide. So as a nurse, your responsibility is to care for and look out for the best interest of that child. Okay. Self-concept in adolescence, there's a lot of rapid body changes at about the same time kids are trying to figure out who they are, and that can lead to a lot of self-consciousness and body image anxiety. Entering puberty earlier or later than others can make kids worry more about whether or not they're normal. Young adolescents may try on identity. So this is another thing that you'll see if you're looking at middle school. You'll see the kids that for a little while they're all wearing a group maybe wearing one particular uniform, and then an individual child may change. They may either switch groups, or the group may decide to change what they're interested in. They're trying on different identities, and that's also normal. As adolescents mature, they should develop a more mature self-concept that's based on their individual characteristics. But again, remember, they're kind of trying on those things in that group identity period. And then they figure out who they are. What are the things they like to do? What are the things they enjoy? In the next section, we'll talk about anticipatory guidance.